Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Scruff McGruff over here, and we are casting some StarCraft 2 to be exact. We have Rain up against Rox.Kis, and Rain is currently sitting at a 2-1 score. Khaldor, what do you think about this particular hand? I mean, they're on game point right now. It's game point for Rain. Rox.Kis is on the back foot. Who do you think is going to be sent out this time around?
I have to say that I'm really eager to see the next game because we have KiWiKaKi against Live Zerg, and KiWiKaKi has been to Korea recently, and he stopped by at the GOM house. He stayed here for a couple of days before he went to the WCG, and he's just a really nice guy. So far I only met him online, but when I met him in Korea, it was really funny. He's a really fun guy, and I'm eager to see how he's going against how he's doing against Live Zerg, because his style against Zerg is just so different.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, he's been known as one of the innovators ever since the beta. KiWiKaKi, that is. He's been known as one of the innovators since the beta. He just has these clever builds that are just out of the ordinary. He's always trying to push it to the next level. I know after talking with him, he really likes Archon toilets, or anything toilets. He just loves those toilets. And if you don't know what toilets are, it's basically you take a mothership, you put a vortex down on all the Zerg units, and then you shove as many units into that as possible. Hopefully they're, you know, AoE type units like Archons or even High Templars. You don't have to actually shove those in. And then once the units pop up, you can just shove all your AoE damage on your opponents, and it makes her really strong attacks.
KiWiKaKi really likes his motherships. I think he was the first player who actually played the Archon toilet. I'm not 100% sure about it, so yeah. I think he was, but I'm not 100% sure. But he definitely loves motherships. He just played I think it was a best of 31 against Cats a few days ago, and he played mothership quite a lot, especially on the big maps. And his style of using the mothership is just so annoying. It's not only the Archon toilet, it's also just using recall in order to annoy your opponent with a couple of blink stalkers, maybe even Colossi, get into his main base with his really mobile army, and as soon as the Zerg tries to crush that force, he's just recalling it to safety. And this really works very well in such an annoying style of play against.
Yeah, I actually remember the first time I actually saw that, and it was KiWiKaKi versus Evil Genius's Machine, where Machine was sitting on like 3 base, I think, to KiWiKaKi's 2 base. KiWiKaKi went Blinkstalker Mothership, and he blinked up on Metalopolis into Machine's main and natural, sniped the 2 hatcheries, and then recalled all of his units out, and Machine was left on like literally 1 base. And he was just sitting there, and I could just see Machine's face at that point. He's just like completely devastated. He doesn't know what happened because he probably never saw that before. And that's KiWiKaKi for you, man. He just comes up with these innovative ways to actually play out matches, and he makes them work, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's really annoying to play against because you have no idea what he's going to be doing this time. He is a player that is able to cheese you a lot. He can go for the cannon rushes when he spots you trying to go for a 15 hatch, for example. But he's also a player that is really good at the long game. So KiWiKaKi, a very accomplished player, and Live Zerg on the other hand, he is not... Well, we talked a lot about KiWiKaKi now. Live Zerg is a really good Zerg player as well, but I still have to say that I think the favorite player in this particular match will be the Protoss player from RGN.
Yeah, I would agree. Although Live Zerg has shown some really good results in the NASL qualifiers. He was probably their star player, but look at this, KiWiKaKi going to throw down a Stargate. Probably going to be some sort of Void Ray pressure. That's normally what we see, especially on a map like Antiqua's Shipyard, where you can snipe the third by easily charging up on those destructible debris and then going directly over to that hatchery. And we can see that this is quite a late third base going up against a Forge Fast expansion. Normally we see this third base going down in the 5-minute mark area, or even the 4-minute mark area, 430, 440, 450. That's where Rhett normally does it. But to have it go up at the 6 minutes, you know, he is investing a lot into drones at this point, but his creep spread will be quite far behind. That could punish him a little bit later on.
Yeah, you're perfectly right. His creep spread is not all that good right now, but he is droning up so hard. He's at 41 drones already, and he's just building drones, and more drones while his third hatch is being built. He's getting in the second gas now, so he's getting ready to tech, and at the same time we also have the roach warren in production. But KiWiKaKi is going for, I like that he's adding a second cannon. He does not really know what his opponent is up to at this point, so the second cannon will give him just that slight edge that he needs if his opponent is actually deciding to attack. And with the chrono boost on the Void Ray, he will have an air unit as well if Live Zerg decides to go for some kind of roach all-in, which he doesn't.
Ooh, second Void Ray actually on the way out, and KiWiKaKi is not going to actually show the first Void Ray just yet. So he's going to get 2 Void Rays, and I'm sure he will start rallying Phoenixes towards those Void Rays. The Phoenix Void Ray combination is just so powerful. You can lift up Queens very easily. That's a lot of the mobile, actually the Queens, I should say. Killing Queens. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Kills Queens very fast. But look at this, a third Void Ray. Khaldor. I haven't actually seen this come out from Protoss players.
God, Live Zerg has units everywhere to scout, but not at the direct path. He only has that one Zergling in the middle of the map occupying the Xel'Naga Watchtower, which has been killed now. So he knows that he's up against at least one Void Ray, but you are perfectly right. KiWiKaKi is going for a lot of Void Rays, and he's adding gates, tons of them, getting +1 attack. So he will try to warp in Zealots and work with Void Ray Zealots. At least I think so. We'll see if that's going to happen. 2 of the Void Rays actually now taking down the first of the Overlords, and now Live Zerg adding the first Spore Crawlers in order to defend against that Air Force of KiWiKaKi.
Now, this is what I was talking about, having the delayed hatchery. You can see the creep spread has just started out here. You want it actually a lot farther because this incoming pressure is going to do so much. Basically, Live Zerg will have no indication that this incoming pressure will be here. And the reason is because the creep spread is just so far receded. Normally, it is out. It's at least at the destructive debris if you get it, you know, that early, what's it called, the early hatchery a lot sooner, just because you can start your creep spread a lot farther in. But that's not going to be the case this time around, and you know, Live Zerg is going to have a lot of troubles actually dealing with this incoming, what is it, 7-gate pressure? I think it's 7-gate, yes.
7 gates, exactly. Yeah, we have Live Zerg now with the second evolution chamber, and he's getting a Baneling nest, so I'm not sure if that's gonna happen in time, because for KiWiKaKi we have a lot more units now. 10 sentries. He has 10 sentries, man, and is now just warping in one Stalker after another. He's at 90 supply against 108. In regards to his harvest account, he is still far behind, but that doesn't matter all too much because KiWiKaKi is now getting very, very aggressive.
Look, there's a pylon being placed over here. It just gives him the option to actually warp in units on that high ground and really punish his opponent with the lack of mobility. But there are a good number of units over here. 125 supply, 298, but don't be confused by that. It doesn't mean that KiWiKaKi has a worse army. It's that you know, the roaches actually take up a lot more supply than the Protoss, well, obviously than their cost. So you have to be very, very careful when reading that. Zealots are being warped into the high ground over here. That's going to push a lot of the roaches and the banelings all the way back to the main. That's going to give a lot of position to KiWiKaKi. Let's see what actually happens. Live Zerg is going back with all of his units. He has to be so careful. The Zealots are doing a ton of damage, and meanwhile, the destructible debris are being taken out. This is going to spell disasters for Live Zerg if he doesn't do something right away. Oh my God, the banelings!
Oh God, there's so many sentries. If KiWiKaKi pays attention to what's happening, he can just force field everything. He has 10 sentries, and they have full energy at that. So he can just make sure that there is no way that Live Zerg is defending his third base, and that's exactly what's happening right now. He's force fielding the ramp immediately, and that third base will fall. There's nothing that Live Zerg can do. Maybe trying to surprise his opponent, but KiWiKaKi warping in additional units at the back. The pylon will probably die, and the banelings are now rolling into the army of KiWiKaKi. No, the force field prevent exactly this.
Yeah, those force shields were so clutch. It always looks like KiWiKaKi is just about to get screwed from those banelings, but at the perfect second, the force shields come up. Here we go. It looks like the last engagement is about to go right here. Nice force shields on the ramp. Is it going to be enough there? There are a ton of roaches here, and additional force shields will go down. There's just so many sentries here. The queens will slowly go down. Now he has no way to actually deal with these void rays. Void rays just plowing away at these roaches. The third goes down, and that's going to do it. I mean, what can Live Zerg actually do at this point with no 30? Has no good advantage, and the army count just goes heavily towards KiWiKaKi.
And he's warping in unit after unit, now killing the banelings, and that's a GG. Live Zerg is losing that game against KiWiKaKi on Antigua Shipyard, and therefore we have reigned with a 3-1 against Rox.Kis.
Yeah, really, really nicely played by KiWiKaKi, and I think that really, like, his overall build punishes those type of thirds. But even still, if he got an earlier third, I don't think that was the super solution, just because it's so hard to deal with that type of pressure when you go mass void raids and then 7 gate right behind that. That is pretty all-in-ish. I mean, if he doesn't kill his opponent or do amazing damage, then he is so far behind. So he needed that to happen, but the positional play that he did with those zealots, forcing units all the way to the back, then taking out the destructive debris, getting position on his opponent, that was what was so key. He doesn't have to waste so many force shields. The banelings are cut off completely because he only needs 3 of them. I mean, everything went KiWiKaKi's way, and he made it happen. He gave himself the position and the opportunity for those great engagements.
On Antigua Shipyard, once you are right next to on the high ground at the third base, and you have that amount of this amount of sentries, then there's nothing that the Zerg player can do. Because when you place down those force fields, he just can't get into a position where he can take on the army, and he always runs the risk of getting a split in half. So this is a very good position to be in if you're a Protoss player. If you can manage to get into the high ground, then you are basically assured that you are able to take down that third base of the Zerg player.
Yes. And on top of that, I mean, there wasn't a lot of ways that Live Zerg could actually punish it. A lot of times we do see like something like roaches, burrowed roaches, abusing your opponents for going something all in like that, where, you know, you get burrowed roaches, you pop them up right when the sentries go over, and then you start killing the sentries, targeting them down so they can't keep force shielding, gives power to those banelings. But Live Zerg just did not have the components necessary and ready to deal with that type of push. KiWiKaKi yet again showing innovation. I wouldn't say that's overly innovative, but just a really, really nice way of playing that cross-position Antigua Shipyard game, and we saw a very swift win for him. So any last words about that particular game?
I really like what KiWiKaKi was doing here, so not in particular. Congratulations to Rain, I guess. Yeah. Very well played.
So, yeah, that being said, congratulations to Rain, as you said. They're going to finish it up 3-1, putting them pretty nicely. I believe they're 1-1. Is that right, producers? They're 1-1 in this particular NASTL, so they're on their way. Of course, there are 7 weeks in the NASTL, so they have plenty of time to go ahead and keep getting more and more wins. But for now, that's going to do it. Khaldor, thank you so much for actually casting this particular clan war. Do you have any shout-outs or anything you'd like to say to the viewers that are watching at home?
I would just like to greet all the people that are staying at the GOM house right now, and thank GOM for the awesome time that I have in Korea, and also, of course, thanks to you, Gretorp, and the NASL crew for having me. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Of course, man. It's always great having you, and we do want to thank the people that made all of this possible, and that is iBuyPower. They're our computer supplier of the NASTL and the NASL. Not only that, we want to thank Azo Monitors. Azo Monitors, of course, our monitor supplier. We want to thank Cooler Master, and last but not least, Kingston HyperX. All of which have been just instrumental in building and shaping esports, and especially the NASL. So we want to give a very special thanks to them, as obviously without them, we would be a lot farther behind. Also want to thank, as I just said, Khaldor, thank you so much for coming in, and we want to thank Well, I want to thank our producer, Elliot, over there. He doesn't get enough credit, but he's always behind there while I'm on camera. And, you know, he's just been there the whole NASL Season 1, 2, and now NASTL. So big thanks to them, everybody, all the editors, and to you guys for watching at home. We will catch you tomorrow, where we will have Mouse up against Team Liquid. That's going to be an absolutely sick match. And also, don't forget the show match series that's going to be going down. 2 sick players will be going at it for a $500 prize pool. More information can be found at nasl.tv. Last but not least, check our YouTube account out. You can find any of the action that you missed on our YouTube, youtube.com/NAStarLeague. They're all in 1080p. And, of course, you have all the great and exciting matches that you can go watch and check out if you missed it at all. NA Star League on YouTube. So that being said, I am Andre Gretorp. I'm going to be signing out for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Well,
Apparently.
actually, your teammate in control once called me the god of cheese.
Really?
The god of cheese. So I believe I'm way ahead of you again, Jake.
It's okay. It's alright. I'll be the bigger man today and not say anything since we're casting.